So, why does tapping work? You may have heard of FasterEFT or tapping and just kind of dismissed it, thinking, oh, that's just got to be some sort of crazy distraction technique, hasn't it? I mean, why would sitting around tapping on yourself help get rid of problems? So I wanted to make this video to help people understand on what different levels it works. And in FasterEFT we describe the tapping as working through a bad-good collapse mechanism. So something bad happens, then something good happens, and that collapses the bad feelings that you have inside. And this can be described as working on two different levels. Firstly, on the level of language and conscious thought, so the things that we're thinking about and things that we're talking about as we're doing the tapping. But secondly, and I'll come back to this first level in a minute, secondly on the level of the physical body, the physical brain and brain chemistry. Now, essentially for the bad-good collapse to start, we need to, and when we start tapping, we need to imagine the problem or the bad memory or the traumatic experience. And when we do that, we're re-experiencing the bad. And according to a medical doctor called Dr. Ronald Rudin, when we re-experience the bad and imagine these problems in our brains, the brain produces a brain chemical called glutamate, which is the most excitatory neurotransmitter. Now that simply means that it's a brain chemical that puts us on high alert. So it's essential for our survival and our protection. So once we're tapping, Dr. Rudin says that the tapping actually starts to produce serotonin. Now you've probably heard of serotonin. It is the most feel-good brain chemical that our brain body produces. So far the process is we start to experience bad feelings and we release glutamate. We start to tap and we release serotonin, and as this process continues, the more serotonin there is released through the tapping, the more the brain is then able to start producing its own GABA, which is simply the body's most inhibitory neurotransmitter. And by that I mean it's the most calming brain chemical. So we have therefore created the bad-good collapse in this chain of producing glutamate, then serotonin, then GABA, and hopefully collapsing all those negative feelings along with it. Now on the second level that I mentioned, on the level of language and conscious thought, this relies on either the self-tapper or the practitioner bringing in good memories and good feelings. So you start to tap, you're feeling those bad feelings and thinking about the language and the things you saw and the things you heard, the feelings you felt, so you're feeling bad. Then either the practitioner will say to the client something funny to make them laugh, or something obscure or off the wall, or ask them to go to a good memory. And if you're tapping on yourself, then you can just take yourself to a good memory. So you're consciously going from a bad memory to a good memory or a good feeling through laughter and humour. And that again creates the bad-good collapse. So I hope that helps to just explain a little bit of what's going on in your body and your mind as you're tapping. And hopefully it will encourage a few more people to get involved, because it works.